At Radio Northern Beaches, we are holding a moment of profound sadness as we remember a much-loved community member, friend, father, husband, brother and son. He was taken from us far too soon in a shark attack here on our northern beaches. We extend our prayers to him and our deepest condolences to his family and friends during this heartbreaking time. His brother has released some words to the public which I would like to share with you now. Mike Salakis, the twin brother of Mercury Salakis, had these words to say: "This is the hardest moment of my life. He was my yin, I was his yang. He was my mirror, my blood, my DNA. He was telepathic. We shared the same soul. Mercury was my life, my right-hand man. Words cannot describe the bond we had together growing up. We had our own language and shared the same dreams, literally. The experiences we had together were truly amazing. His message to all is to live life with pure passion. Express all emotions, whether they are happy, sad, angry, or mad. Tell your loved ones that you love them. Hold them tight. Get rid of the filter that hides who you really are." He was passionate about being real. He would be the life of the party. The pure energy from him could be felt in every corner. In later years, he developed a passion for exotic palms and was one of the best at palm seed generation, in which nurseries admired and bought. He loved his wife Maria and freedom so very much. Please send them support in any way you can. Thank you for all the heartfelt messages of support. I love you all. I love you, bro. You are forever with me, through me. These were the words of his beloved brother. Mike, the community grieves with you, and also profoundly for his wife and child. May God bless you all. Mike's words were expressed via the Manly Observer. As is normal, after a shark attack, there is a great deal of fear. I did an interview recently with marine biologist Lauren Sandeman to uncover the truths about sharks, shark nets, and marine safety, to learn about shark behaviour, the impact of shark nets, and how we can protect both swimmers and marine life along our coast. I'd like to play that for you now. We're talking to marine biologist Lauren Sandeman from Humane World for Animals, who will discuss why it's time to move beyond outdated shark nets and embrace modern, proven safety measures. Lauren is a dedicated marine biologist and ocean conservationist, specialist in shark culling policy and science communication. With a Bachelor of Science in Marine Biology, a Master of Laws in Law of the Sea, and about to commence her PhD in shark policy, Lauren combines scientific expertise with policy and legal framework to campaign for our ocean wildlife, both nationally and internationally. Welcome to Radio Northern Beaches, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
Lauren, we want to talk today about sharks and shark nets. I know that you're a dedicated marine biologist and ocean conservationist and specialise in the shark culling area. Tell us a bit about how you got involved in this and why you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, well, I did marine biology as an undergraduate, and I've loved oceans and ocean conservation since I was a kid. In 2020, I came across a documentary that was released about the shark culling programs used in New South Wales and Queensland and the use of shark net to kill sharks, and they've been doing that since the 1930s. And I was absolutely horrified, and honestly, I felt a bit duped about the whole program because they were completely different to how I thought they operated. And I was so incensed, I decided to change my career trajectory in marine biology to focus on these shark culling programs and human-shark interactions in order to actually implement effective mitigation measures to protect both human life as well as our wildlife.
Okay, so tell us a bit more about how these nets affect the environment, because I know we get a lot of unintentional kills from these nets as well.
Well, the biggest misconception for public is that these are shark nets that we're talking about are a culling device, and that they're not the shark nets that we're talking about, because there are different devices that are called shark nets. So we get them confused in the media a lot, but we're not talking about a barrier or a device that's meant to deter or deflect sharks to stop them from reaching the shore. We're talking about a fishing net that's several hundred meters out to sea that has open water above it, below it, and for hundreds of meters on either side, up to kilometers. And its sole purpose is to hang there for 24 hours a day and entangle whatever marine life that swims into it, in the hope that it might be a dangerous species of shark. So a white shark, a bull shark, or a tiger shark. And not only are they completely ineffective at catching and killing these species, which doesn't do anything for reducing human-shark interactions anyway, but it also catches and kills hundreds and hundreds of other species that range from fairy penguins to humpback whales.
We've seen a lot of whales being entangled in them recently, which is really distressing, I'm sure, to my listeners, but I know that I get very distressed when I see this happening, because it is an awful thing for these whales to be tangled up, especially when they're so young as well.
Horrific.
So tell us a little bit about, if you take the nets away, which is what I assume everybody is wanting, the protections that can go into place, because I know a lot of listeners have heard about the different types of things that can be put out there, and we're all going, well, we don't understand this at all. Please explain to us how this protects us when we go swimming.
Yeah, well, there are different layers of mitigation that are in place. So the good news is that the government spent many, many years and tens of millions of dollars in testing, trialling and deploying these measures. So they're currently in waters in New South Wales. And these modern measures, which I'll go into more detail about soon, means New South Wales, the modern shark mitigation program, is the most comprehensive in the world. These technologies are a mix of surveillance, detection, tracking of sharks. So my most favorite one is drone surveillance. So essentially, when people are in the beach, you run drones up in the air and they do blap of the shoreline and for hundreds, for up to a kilometre away, to see what's in the water or what's approaching. And if they see a shark and they determine it could be a potentially risky species of shark, they'll monitor it, and if it gets closer to the shore, they'll deploy countermeasures like sending out a jet ski or putting up an alarm for people to evacuate the beach to prevent a interaction from happening. We also have smart drum lines at our coastlines, which are essentially a baited hook suspended off a buoy that has an alert mechanism attached to it. So if something bites the hook, it sends out an alert to a contractor who has to respond within half an hour. And when they get to the site, if the animal caught is a target species of shark, so a white bull or tiger, they tag that shark and release it a kilometre offshore. The tagging part of that is the listening station. So the bright yellow triangle buoys out at sea are listening stations. So if a shark with a tag comes within 500 meters of that receptor, then it sends out an alert to the local surf lifesaving group, as well as the public app that's available that you can download to let them know that the shark is within the area. And that can be investigated again by a drone or by a jet ski, or people themselves can just decide to maybe not go into the water for a little bit. But fundamental to all of these mitigation technologies is community education on shark smart behavior. Now, the most common adage is becoming a lot more popular, which is great to see. So don't swim at dawn and dusk. But there are other education components people should be aware of when it comes to sharks and increased risks with sharks in the ocean, such as if there are bait balls in the water or lots of activity like with dolphins or seabirds flying around and diving into the water. That means that it's a highly attractive area at the moment to other predators like sharks. Or if it's been raining recently and you're near a river mouth, or if the water is really, really murky on the day. Those kind of environmental factors increase the risk of a shark potentially being around. And so it's understanding that those environmental conditions can help reduce your individual risk when you choose to go into the ocean. But at the end of the day, we can't domesticate the ocean and we can't have a zero risk policy across the board.
What do you do if you have a shark that keeps registering, keeps coming back to the same area? Is that a common thing, or is that just our fear?
That's more of a fear component. I guess we call it the rogue shark Jaws mentality. What we know from tagging and tracking sharks is, these species that are the most likely to bite humans, again, which is a very low risk, they're highly migratory. So they're not sticking around in one location for a while, which is why shark nets are so redundant, is because they were designed at a time when people thought that sharks were territorial and stuck around. So their logic was, if you eradicate all the sharks in the area, then you would never, ever have a problem. Now, because we know how migratory these sharks are and that they're not territorial, it's a completely stupid logic that's still applied to today's operations. So the whole point and push to remove shark nets is to allow our improved understanding of sharks, shark behavior, and also modern technologies to be implemented for beach safety. I mean, these nets are nearly 100 years old. We wouldn't let 100-year-old safety standards in any other facet of our lives. So why is beach safety the only exception?
Yeah, that's a good question. What is your hope moving forward forward in this area as far as safety is concerned and these nets?
Well, I'd like to see the science put first and human life prioritized by putting in effective measures. We know scientifically that not only is there no difference in the risk of a shark bite happening at a beach with a shark net versus one without in New South Wales, that we've actually had several years where the risk has been higher with a shark net in place. Now, these nets are only checked every 3 days, and dead and dying animals left for days on end just offshore can act as an attractant to sharks. And we certainly have seen from images within the program that animals that are being pulled up dead from these nets have massive shark bites taken out of them. So moving forward, what I want to see is the scientific advice for effective mitigation technology and technology that meets the standard that says empirically that it can help reduce the rate of interactions that might occur, be implemented. It's a safety first measure. The fact that removing shark nets is a win for human safety and a win for the environment should be the icing on the cake. I mean, it's really quite ridiculous that we're still having this discussion when we know so much about this program now and how ineffective it is.
So what stakeholders need to be involved in this, and who has to come in rather than being negative about it?
Well, the main stakeholder is the state government. It is a state-run program, but because it's a state-run program, really everyone should have a say in this. It's the locals, the councils, but as well as there's a component where tourists and people who aren't the frequent ocean users are probably who are the least informed about these mitigation measures, need to all be informed and educated. Like I said before, there's this massive misinformation regarding what shark nets are and most importantly what shark nets aren't, and making sure that people understand that when we're talking about a shark net at an ocean beach, we're not talking about removing barriers or stopping sharks from coming too close to shore. We're talking about ending an ineffective fishing program, and that education needs to go across all levels of the community. But at the end of the day, it is the state government's decision.
Okay, so where are these shark nets still located?
So these shark nets are only at 51 beaches between Newcastle and Wollongong. They're only used in that kind of metropolitan Sydney region is how we refer to it. So anything north of Newcastle or south of Wollongong has no chance of having a shark net in place. There are plenty of barriers and enclosures that are used further north that I know people also call shark nets, but they're not what we're talking about.
Is there anything else that you think we should know about this that we haven't touched on yet?
I think when it comes to shark safety, it's very easy to get caught up in the fear and sensationalism surrounding sharks. I mean, they probably have the worst PR out of any animal on the planet. When it comes to shark safety, there is real empirical evidence and real steps that can be done to keep people safe. Now, if you're not swimming at a popular or surfing at a popular beach, there's a lot more that you can and probably should do to take up risk reduction for yourself, such as if you're surfing out in a highly remote location early on in the day, maybe go out with a buddy. There are some fantastic technologies for wetsuit designs, wetsuits that can help make your silhouette invisible, or that can help stop a penetration if a shark bite does occur, and even personal deterrent devices. So depending on how you use the ocean, there are so many measures available today that are backed by science to help keep people safe. And I just wish more people knew about.
You've been listening to Radio Northern Beaches, your community radio station, live streaming on rnb.org.au across the Northern Beaches, around Australia and around the world. You can also catch us local on 88.7 and 90.3 FM. We remember Mercury Salakis and his last selfless act to save those in the water when he spotted the shark. Again, we give our condolences to his family and send our love and prayers to them. Please keep an eye out for any fundraising efforts that pop up in the next few days.